Hi guys, I'm UMANG and today the topic is about hair loss. Now, hair loss is a very broad topic because there could be many reasons for hair loss. But whoever suffers with hair loss, because I'm sure you've not met a single person who's not experienced hair loss. We all have at some point or the other experienced hair loss and continue to do so year after year. And there's so many products in the market that we get so confused as to what to really choose. When you talk to your friends, they have 10,000 solutions for it. When you go to the market, you go to a shop, they will sell you 10,000 products. So that leaves you what? Confused. And in the end, what are the results? You're still experiencing hair loss, aren't you? So that's why today I'm going to take you through some basic steps which will address hair loss. And actually, if you look at it, those basic steps are the main steps. Whereas when we get into marketing gimmicks, when you go into the marketing gimmicks means what? That means they are selling 10 products, whereas ingredients that are required to save your hair loss are only few. So I'm going to take you through those ingredients and I'm going to take you through what to do about it. So does that mean it'll control your hair loss completely? No, but it will arrest some of it. Now there are certain months in a year you will notice that somewhere in mid-April to July, when especially the monsoon, now we are in July, most of you must be experiencing hair loss, aren't you? So I would say that do not get too overburdened or too overwhelmed during this time with your hair loss, because you will experience at this point in time. Whereas somewhere outside these months, if you experience hair loss, then maybe there is a point to worry. And if it continues beyond 3 months, it is a point to worry. Now, what are the things that we can take care of for hair loss? Now, the first step starts with your diet. I'm sure most of you are aware of it. So when we say diet, what does that mean? Now, diet consists of some vitamins, some minerals. As far as hair loss is concerned, what you need is protein. Now, most of us must be vegetarians. Now, vegetarians do not get adequate amount of proteins, right, as we think. But no, that's not right, because if you get into sprouted chana, sprouts, basically what I'm trying to say is if you have sprouts, it will help your hair grow. So some amount of proteins for vegetarians, I would say, is tofu, not in a very high quantity for women, but some amount of tofu couple of times in a week, or maybe 3 to 4 times is also sufficient. Then you can get into your chickpeas and your sprouts. So make sure you inculcate in your diet so that it helps increase your hair strength. Now, when you talk about proteins in non-vegetarian, as we know, fish, chicken, and all these meat help to have adequate amount of protein. Now, when you take care of your diet, what are the other things that you need to take care of for your hair loss? Now, after your diet, adequate amount of sleep. If you don't sleep well, if you're going through some mental stress or some physical stress, you will experience hair loss. And let's say, what you can do about a good sleep is a deep breathing session will really help in controlling hair loss. Then about your diet, like I have discussed, your proteins are very important. Then about what can you apply for your hair. Before I get into products or tell you what can you apply on your scalp to arrest hair loss, I must tell you, if you have a certain deficiency in your body, when I talk about deficiency, I'm talking about vitamin B12. Again, you will notice more so in vegetarians over non-vegetarians are more deficient in vitamin B12. And vitamin B12 is such a good vitamin because it's a water soluble. That means you will never overdose on it. Whatever your body doesn't require will flush it out. But that does not mean you have copious amounts of B12. You need to control. But so first of all, get the blood test done. Let's start with the basics. Get your blood test done. What are the blood tests required for your hair loss to understand what is it that we need to check? We do our hemoglobin test and we see our iron is okay. But have you heard of ferritin? Ferritin is something which goes low in women, and that if that ferritin levels, and most of the women, mind you, are deficient in ferritin. So if you're checking your ferritin levels, and if they are low, then you will experience hair loss. If you have thyroid, especially in women, you will experience hair loss. If your proteins are low, you will experience hair loss. If if your vitamin B12 is low, you will experience hair loss. So these 4 parameters, if not under check, you will experience hair loss. So first thing first, get your ferritin level checked, get your B12 checked, get vitamin D3, again I'm forgetting, is the 5th one, which is very important vitamin to check. So vitamin D3, most of us, and we've observed, especially in COVID, how important vitamin D3 is. So make sure your vitamin D levels are under check, vitamin B12, your thyroid, and your protein. So you do your blood test. If you think you are deficient, then you need to address it with the doctor and ask for a adequate amount of supplement that will help with the hair loss. Now, if you have taken care of that, yet you're experiencing hair loss, then I would say certain things like onion juice. We have heard of onion juice and we've not been sure whether it works or not. But I have tried it personally over the years. For me, I have been so passionate about skincare and hair that I've read books, I've spoken to doctors, attended many, many webinars, many workshops I have done. And over the years, I come through experience and I tell you, these are the basic things. If you start addressing, you will start seeing that your hair will have a certain, thickness coming to it. You will start to see a regrowth in your hair. So if you do your blood test, after your blood test, you start using onion juice. How often should you use onion juice? I use once a week. How do you use an onion juice? Take an onion, squeeze it, take the juice, apply it. Don't apply it on wet hair, apply it on dry hair, massage it. Now, always remember one thing, guys, about hair loss. Where do you lose hair from? Always from the crown area. You will observe anything below the crown area, you will not lose hair, because your hair don't fall from this area, only from the crown area they fall. So you apply anything that you apply for to arrest hair loss is on the crown area. So you take your onion juice and you apply all over your scalp and you will see a difference. So you apply for 15 to 20 minutes, a little bit of massage, maybe a minute or two, and then you wash off. There'll be a little bit of smell post washing your hair with onion juice, but it's okay, because the benefits that you're getting out of onion juice is far superior than the smell that comes from onion. Okay, once you've addressed that, there's certain things when you wash your hair that you need to look after in your shampoo. As you already know, you need to use SLS-free, paraben-free. That means not pure organic, but there's certain brands which are excellent, and they have, an Indian brands I'm talking about, are SLS-free and parabens. One of the brands that I will discuss with you is an OGX. Organics brand is fantastic. If you want to have a look at the variety of range of shampoos and conditioner that they have, and it's easily available all over India, and also very, very reasonably priced. So you may want to look at that brand, and there are a couple of other brands as well, but make sure they're SLS-free, parabens-free, and no color, no dyes whatsoever. Now, once you've taken care of your shampoo, what is it that other thing that other than the SLS-free you need to look for is caffeine. What caffeine does is it stimulates your hair growth. Now, caffeine in a coffee, if you start to think that if you start consuming coffee, it'll help in your hair growth, no, it won't, because again, you'll have to have a copious amount of coffee. And if you have copious amount of coffee, there'll be more side effects to coffee than actually arresting the hair loss. So make sure it's caffeine-based shampoo, not coffee, that you need to take, internally. So buy something which is caffeine-based. There are enough caffeine-based shampoos again in the market. So you use them, and certain products like Procapil, Rendesil, these ingredients are very important. If you haven't heard, take note of these ingredients like Procapil-based hair serums, Rendesil, they are very important ingredients. So if you start incorporating these things that I'm talking about, let's start step by step, and just to recap, is your diet. You need to eat well. You need to sleep well. You do your blood test. If you've done your blood test, like I talked about, all those parameters are under check, then you change the shampoo. Get a good shampoo. So you make sure it's SLS-free, paraben-free, and it is caffeine-based, because caffeine will help thicken the hair growth. Then certain hairsprays, like I talked about, your Procapil, Rendesil, and if nothing else works, you can go to a doctor and ask for something like Regain, minoxidil. So that's the last resort, but minoxidil is not for everyone. A, it goes in your bloodstream, so you have to be careful. B, it has to be prescribed by a doctor. So go to a trichologist or a dermatologist, ask for a prescription of minoxidil, because if nothing else works, minoxidil does. So make sure your diet is okay, you're sleeping better, you're breathing better, doing your exercises, doing your, keep moving your body. The more active you are, the more blood will flow, more activation of blood flow happens. So if you keep yourself active, if you do some certain types of headstands in yoga, breathing in yoga, even if you can't do headstand, doesn't mean that there's only one way to do a headstand free weight. You can actually lie down on your bed, take your head low, as in hang your head low, as if your chin is up, head is hanging, and your blood will flow. But make sure whenever you're putting your chin up to let the blood flow to the head, it is for minimum 3 minutes, because you require 3 minutes for the blood to flow fully in the system, especially to the head. So even if you're doing sarvanga or a headstand or anything, make sure it is minimum for 3 minutes. And if you can go beyond 3 minutes, it's fantastic. You'll get even better results. So these are the things, if you start incorporating in your system, you will see a little bit of changes start to happen. But as I always say, it requires commitment and practice. It doesn't happen overnight. You start to use a shampoo today or anything that I've talked about, a hair serum or blood test. It will take, because it's taken over a period of time for you to experience hair loss and come to this stage, right? So everything takes time. Nothing is going to be overnight. So the more you're going to be into it, the more regular you are with your hair care routine, the better results will be. The last thing I want to discuss is about the hair oil. Now, the myth about the hair oil, I want to make a myth, because we talk about coconut oil, we talk about castor oil. Do you know these are all carrier oils? What are carrier oils? Basically, carrier, as the name suggests, is a carry oil to the scalp. But does it stimulate? No. So what is it that you need to use that will stimulate your hair growth? That's your rosemary oil. Rosemary oil is one of the best oils to be used for hair, the growth stimulation. Why? Because it's an essential oil. So carrier oil are supposed to be used in mixture with your essential oil. So mix your essential oil with your carrier oil, warm it up a little. All you need is a few drops, maybe half a teaspoon of your essential oil, which is rosemary specifically, with your carrier oils like your castor, your coconut. So take 2 to 3 portions of your carrier oils along with just a few drops or half a teaspoon, like I said, of your essential. Mix it up, warm it up, and massage it on your scalp. Make sure when you massage it, either you use a warm oil, otherwise when you've applied oil in your scalp, warm it up. Take a hot towel, like our nanny used to say, or like grandmothers have taught us. Take a hot towel in the sense hot water, wrap it around your head after squeezing, of course, not very wet towel, warm towel on your head, let it be sinking for like 5 minutes, let the oil sink in your scalp, keep it on for 10 to 15 minutes and wash off. So all these small things will really go a long way. And trust me, there is nothing beyond these things that can really help, unless you go, surgically, like if you get the hair grafting done and all that. But besides that, these are the only things that you need to do. There are certain serums, certain products. Let's come out with part 2 and I will let you know what are the things that we can use. But till then, you can use these things and arrest your hair loss. And that's about the topic for today. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any queries, leave them and we'll discuss soon. Thank you.